How should your city keep score? I'm John Bernard with the Washington Policy Center. When I first began working with government over 20 years ago, one thing became clear quickly. Leading a city or any public entity is incredibly complex. Unlike business, which is organized around a single outcome, profit, or sports, which are measured by points or runs or goals, government has no single measure of success. Government is accountable for many things, many outcomes at once. That's why leaders must decide what to measure and how to measure it. Without a scoreboard, there's no way of knowing if we're winning. Before we choose measures, we need to have clear goals. Cities typically have a half dozen or so common ones: public safety, economic vitality, housing and infrastructure, fiscal health, and quality of life. Take public safety. The goal is simple: a safe community. But how do we know if it's safe? We measure, as an example, violent and property crime rates, police, fire, and emergency response times. These top-level indicators make performance visible, and visibility matters because you can't manage what you can't see. Hidden problems only grow. Economic environment: measure jobs created or business growth. Housing: track supply and affordability. Infrastructure: monitor investment and reliability. Community life: measure park usage and civic participation. For fiscal responsibility, look at things like revenue diversity and reserve balances and credit ratings, and whether or not managers are on budget, something often overlooked. If spending is below plan, are we simply saving money, or are we falling behind our plans? Results come from people. That's why we also need to measure our workforce health. Engagement, turnover, and absenteeism are good measures. Absenteeism, in fact, is one of the strongest early warning signs of dissatisfaction. Gallup, the survey organization, has what it calls its Q12, which measures dimensions of employee engagement, including job satisfaction, commitment, and overall morale. Trust in government isn't built on speeches. It's built on results, visible, measurable improvements in daily life. When outcomes are clear, trust rises. When they're hidden or absent, distrust spreads. To make progress clear, use simple red, yellow, green indicators. Green means we're on track. Yellow or red means we need to do some work. We need to act. As we pick measures, we also want to set levels of desired performance. And remember, frequency matters. The more often you measure, the more control you have. Annual reports tell you what happened, but they don't let you course correct. Imagine flying an airplane and only being able to see the instrument panel once a year. I often hear people say, I'm not going to measure that because I can't control it, or an even lower bar, I can't impact it. So why would I measure it? Well, what we should measure is what matters to our citizens. Besides, it's the right thing to do. A great example is Washington State's Target Zero program. State leaders knowingly set an unachievable goal: 0 deaths and serious injuries on the state's roads by 2030. Why? Because it causes agencies under this measure and through the Washington Traffic Safety Commission to look at the challenge from every possible angle. Measurement is feedback. It tells us what's working and what isn't. In our next session, I'll share with you how to make it safe to be open and transparent in the presence of measures. I'm John Bernard for the Washington Policy Center, and I'll see you in City Hall.
If you found this informative, share it with a friend and consider checking out one of our suggested videos over here. Make sure you're subscribed so that you can stay up to date with the latest policy news from Washington.